There's a certain kind of ache you never talk about, the kind that sits in your chest years after someone left, years after the last message, years after you told yourself you were done. And what hurts the most is knowing they were never really yours in the first place, yet somehow losing them still feels like losing a part of yourself. And maybe this is the part you don't admit out loud, but some people leave you without ever staying, and still, you can't let them go. It's strange how deeply a person can mark you without ever choosing you, without ever committing to you, without ever promising you anything real, yet they become the one your mind circles back to when you're tired, when you're lonely, when the world feels a little too quiet. It's like their absence became a shape inside you, something familiar, something you learned to live with because for a moment they gave you a feeling you didn't know how to create on your own. And maybe that's the truth we avoid, the truth that feels too raw to touch, because sometimes you don't hold on to a person, you hold on to the version of yourself that existed when they were around. They made you feel alive in a way you didn't know you needed. They made something inside you wake up. They made you feel chosen in moments when you weren't. They made you feel seen in ways that were never fully real, and still, you believed it, because you needed to believe it. You needed something to hold on to, something to look forward to, something to feel like hope. And that's what they were. That's why letting them go feels impossible. Because you're not grieving them, you're grieving the hope you built around them. People like this have a way of lingering, not because they were good for us, not because they loved us, but because they awakened something in us at a time we were starving for connection. And the truth is, the heart doesn't care if a bond was real or imagined. It only remembers how it felt, how intensely, how unexpectedly, how deeply you wanted it to become something more. And when it didn't, you didn't just lose a person, you lost the future you created in your mind, the one where they finally saw you, the one where they finally chose you, the one where they finally stayed. And maybe nobody told you this, but holding on to someone who was never yours is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that something in your past taught you to cling to crumbs, to hold on to almost, to convince yourself that a little affection is enough, that a little attention means something deeper, something real. But you deserve more than almost. You deserve more than temporary. You deserve more than someone who doesn't know how to stay. Still, the heart is stubborn, especially when it meets someone at the wrong time, especially when you're vulnerable, especially when you've gone your whole life being the one who gives, the one who understands, the one who carries other people's weight. You're used to feeling like you're almost enough, like if you just try harder, love deeper, wait longer, they'll finally choose you. But they won't, not because you're not enough, but because they are not capable of giving more than they did. It's hard to accept this, I know, because we replay every memory looking for meaning. We analyze every word, every glance, every moment, hoping it will confirm that they cared. And maybe they did, in their own small, limited, broken way, but not in the way you needed, not in the way you deserved. And that's the hardest part, realizing that someone can matter so much to you while you were just a passing moment in their life. Letting go isn't hard because of what happened, it's hard because of what you imagined could happen. You became attached to possibility, to potential, to the story you built in your head, and the human mind doesn't let go of stories easily, especially the ones that made us feel alive, even if they weren't real. But you're not stupid for holding on. You're not dramatic for caring. You're not weak for hurting. You're human, and humans fall for things that feel like home, even when they're not safe. Sometimes the person we hold on to the hardest is the one who mirrors our oldest wounds, the one who activates something unresolved inside us, something from childhood, something from the moments we felt overlooked, unseen, unchosen. And when someone comes along who makes us feel wanted, even for a second, it touches that old wound and feels like healing. But it's not healing. It's repetition. It's the same pattern disguised as connection, the same pain wearing a different face. You didn't fall for them by accident. You fell for them because a part of you was still waiting to be loved in the way you were never loved before. And they awakened that longing, but they were never capable of fulfilling it. They were only capable of triggering it. And that's why your attachment feels so emotional, so irrational, so heavy. Because you're not just holding on to them, you're holding on to every part of yourself that never got what it needed. This is why you replay conversations, why you hold on to memories, why their absence hurts more than it should, because it's not about them anymore. It's about everything they represented. They represented hope, validation, affection, safety, possibility. They represented a version of love you've been chasing for years. And deep down, you thought maybe this time, maybe with this person, maybe in this moment, you'd finally be enough. But listen, you were always enough. They simply weren't capable of receiving the kind of love you give. And that's not your fault. You don't have to carry the weight of people who couldn't meet you where you were. You don't have to hold on to almost love just because it felt better than nothing. You don't have to blame yourself for wanting connection. You deserve someone who chooses you without hesitation, someone who stays without needing to be convinced, someone whose presence doesn't leave you questioning your worth. You deserve a love that doesn't confuse you, drain you, or disappear when you need it most. You deserve someone who looks at you and sees the person you fought so hard to become. But here's the truth no one tells you. Letting go isn't something you feel ready for. It's something you grow into. It happens slowly, quietly, gently. One day you wake up and their memory doesn't sting the way it used to. One day you remember a moment you shared and instead of breaking, you breathe. One day, the version of you that was attached to them no longer exists. Because healing doesn't happen when the pain stops. It happens when you finally understand it. And maybe that's happening to you now. Maybe the fact that you're here listening to this means you're finally facing the truth you've avoided for so long. Not the truth about them, but the truth about yourself. The truth that you are capable of loving deeply, that you are capable of healing, that you are capable of choosing someone who chooses you back. And when that day comes, when you finally let go, not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring about yourself, you'll look back at this person and realize that they were never the ending. They were the beginning of your healing, the beginning of your self-worth, the beginning of the version of you who no longer settles for love that doesn't stay. One day, you won't hold on anymore. One day the story will change, and one day you'll understand why they were never meant to be yours. And when that day comes, I hope you choose yourself the way no one ever chose you. If you and I are anything alike and you want to keep walking this path with me, then subscribe.